Check this out. This is pretty incredible. A Mukwonago man jumps into action when a woman collapses during the Chicago Marathon.
The doctors are like, there's no way you should be here right now. It is truly amazing that you were here.
Our Waukesha County reporter Rebecca Clough tells us the story of the emergency room nurse who saved the woman's life.
Brian Beres usually spends his days here at ProHealth Waukesha Memorial Hospital dealing with emergencies. So Brian didn't hesitate when an emergency happened right in front of him while he was running a marathon.
I run for the hospital.
Brian Beres has been a marathon runner for more than a decade. He runs the Bank of America Chicago Marathon nearly every year to raise money for Lurie's Children's Hospital in honor of his son, Kieran.
He had life-saving surgery at 5 days old.
This year, Brian had a second mission. He was running the 26.2 miles in hopes of qualifying for the Boston Marathon.
And was kind of in a rhythm, comfortable rhythm with how I was running, and felt good.
He was nearly at the end of the race, just after mile 21, when the unthinkable happened.
There was a woman about 10 yards in front of me that I saw collapse. I immediately ran to her.
Brian says his instincts as an emergency room nurse kicked in.
She didn't have pulses and she wasn't breathing, and started CPR immediately on her with this bystander.
Brian ended up doing CPR for 45 minutes on the woman before the fire department could get the woman off the course and to the hospital. Brian worried she wouldn't make it, but just as he runs for his son, who's his miracle, he says he got to pass it on in the same place his son was saved.
It came kind of like full circle.
Brian was invited to meet Maria on Wednesday night in Chicago. The marathon said, "We are deeply appreciative of the quick actions of Brian, first responders, as well as others on the course to provide aid."
This was kind of God's way of like, this is the race you're going to run. This is what's going to happen. Fate intervened. I mean, I was meant to be there for her.
Brian had been trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon, and he hopes there's still a way he can run it. If not, he plans to run Chicago again next year. In Mukwonago, Rebecca Clough, TMJ4 News.